Back to the situation in Africa with Niger, where we have witnessed uh, change in leadership with military regime take over the seats of governance. So we are witnessing some recent development that's worth noting and basically keeping in mind. The last we heard was the new government in Niger had asked the French ambassador in the country to leave within 48 hours because France has been interfering and has been disobeying instruction from the new regime, the new government. In particular, recently, the ambassador of France was invited or was called to respond to certain concern with the new government, and the ambassador of France refused to respond to the invitation. As a result, that triggered is the demand for him to leave the country within 48 hours. And as a result of that request by the government of Niger, Africa in general has been going through division. You have these regional forces that are there basically trying to restore the government that has been ousted. I believe these regional forces are made up of a few countries around the same region, the Niger. But the people of Niger refuse what these regional forces are trying to impose upon the country, because they believe that those forces, those regional forces, are acting as a help to France to re-colonize the country. So there is no trust with those regional forces that are interfering with the new development in Niger. So you have different countries supporting Niger, like Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali. They are all there trying to lend the support to the new regime because they understand the call of the hour, where we have some of us, Africans, who are still doing the bid of imperial powers like France, the United States, and you name the rest. So there is a divide now in Africa among Africans. You have different sides to this issue now, which is threatening again the fragile unity that Africa has been trying to build over the last few years. And we have this situation that really externally generated for the interest of outsiders like France, like the United States, that are creating wedges within the continent, within the people of the continent. So we have to lend our weight to this discussion, to this development, particularly those of us in the diaspora. I mean, the Caribbean countries have to be involved with this African situation, because we have to start understanding the Pan-African viewpoints in its practicality. You know, we have to start getting practical and real about Pan-Africanism, because this issue of Niger does not only concern Niger or just Africa as a continent, but it concerns us Africans all over the globe. whether we're in Jamaica, whether in Trinidad, in Tobago, we are in Barbados, St. Vincent, you name it. We are all involved in what's taking place in Africa, because as long as Africa will remain at the level where they want it to be, the lowest of the level of the lowest, anywhere we are as Africans, we will never command any respect. When they look at our continent, they look at us, whether you're in America, you're in Europe, you're in the United States, they look at where you come from, they just, label you. You are nothing. So we have to be mindful of what's taking place in Africa and lend our support. And our support has to take the direction of the people. It has to take the aspiration of the people into consideration. What the African people want. What do we want? We want to be free. We want to be liberated. We want to be the people that can control our own affairs, not continue to be dictated by these colonial powers that are still that never left, really. So we are calling on all the minds of goodwill and the forces that can be put in effect to get involved in what's going on in Africa. We know Burkina Faso is extending a lot of support already to Niger to help, because some of our own African countries who are neighbors to Niger, who are basically who do trade with Niger to a certain degree, they actually are suspending help in terms of food, in terms of medicine to Niger, under the instruction of those same ex-colonial powers through these so-called regional forces. So the dynamic is so critical that we have to make the voices of the people count. We have to tell those regional forces where to go. They cannot keep holding the people of Africa hostage to do the bid of France, the United States, Britain, and all these colonial powers. How in the world France will refuse to leave Niger? It's not your country. Go back to Europe. You tell us all the time, go back to Africa. So we're telling you, go back to France or go back to Europe. Leave Africa alone. It's as simple as that. We are sovereign countries, sovereign people. We are people with conscience, and we can make our own decision. We are intelligent enough to run our own affairs without your interference. So we're saying, France, get out of Africa. That's the message. And we want to rally this cry, this voice to all over the world where people of African descendants are, to master the strength, to stand up together, to speak with one voice, and tell those ex-slave masters to get out of Africa, and get out now. This is the message. We are not in the time of compromising and trying to sit down there and let them take us for another century of misery, of poverty, of manipulation, of insurrection, of all kinds of ills that have poured on our continent and our people without mercy, where they look at us like flies with poverty. We just wait for the crumbs that fall from their table. All that is over. It is enough. Enough is enough. Africa is standing up. Your voice is needed. Your voice is being called for. Come forward and stand up for Africa. Stand up for Africans. Let's rise up as one people in unity and say no more and never again. Thank you very much, African people all over the globe. Let's stand and unite for the cause of our future generations. Thank you very much. You take care. Bye now.